Hey, welcome back to M3 Crypto, where we are backtesting our VAMP strategy. For the actual details of the strategy, watch the first two videos in this series. We explain everything, but the actual backtesting process is a little boring, and I have come up with the perfect solution. As you may know from previous episodes, we are listening to podcasts. And we're listening to podcasts you're not going to hear anywhere else on the entire internet. This one is a little different from the last few episodes. This is a little story about a Chihuahua and a wiener dog. And the podcast is combing over the details of this particular narrative. So, we're about to listen to that. In 3, 2, 1. This is like we're hanging out in podcast land. 1.
All right, everyone, buckle up because today's deep dive is taking us straight to the heart of Pennsylvania, a place where the muffins are always warm and the adventures are oh so adorable.
Pennsylvania? Sounds intriguing.
It is. We're diving into the adventures of Noodles and Tater, a children's story that's chock full of cuteness. But don't let that fool you. Yeah, we might just uncover some seriously deep symbolism along the way. Think Jungian archetypes, hidden meanings. The whole shebang.
Ooh, I'm always up for a bit of symbolism, especially if it involves adorable pups.
No, get ready for a double dose because this story stars not one, but two of the most lovable pups you can imagine. Noodles, the dapper dachshund, and Tater, the itty-bitty chihuahua.
A dachshund and a chihuahua, huh? That's a dynamic duo just waiting to happen.
Oh, it's pure magic. Noodles is all elegance and sophistication like he struts around with an invisible monocle. And Tater, well, he's a burst of pure joy and puppy energy.
I can already picture them.
Together, these two best buds live on Maple Biscuit Lane. Yes, you heard that right, Maple Biscuit Lane. And they're always ready for an adventure with their trusty satchels packed full of essentials.
Like what? Peanut butter treats and squeaky toys?
You know it. And Tater never forgets his favorite blankie. It's honestly the cutest thing ever.
The blankie detail. That's precious.
But their peaceful world is about to get a major shakeup. I'm talking a scandal that would rock the very foundations of Pennsylvania. The case of the missing muffins. Imagine Sweet Pea Bakery, the smell of freshly baked blueberry muffins wafting through the air.
Oh, I can practically smell them now.
And then, bam, the entire tray of muffins disappears. Vanished. Poof.
No, that's a true mystery.
A culinary crime of epic proportions. So Noodles and Tater, being the amazing pups they are, put on their detective hats and follow the trail of crumbs, and guess where it leads them? Straight to a mischievous squirrel named Nutmeg with her cheeks stuffed full of muffin crumbs.
Classic Nutmeg. Always up to some nutty shenanigans.
But hold on, there's a twist. It turns out Nutmeg didn't just gobble those muffins for herself. She took them to share with her siblings who were hungry and all alone.
Ah, so there's a heart of gold under that mischievous exterior.
Exactly. Instead of punishment, Mrs. Butterpup, the kind baker, teaches Nutmeg the joy of baking, and the whole town rallies to make sure Nutmeg's family never goes hungry again.
Now that's what I call a happy ending.
Right. It's all about community and compassion in Pennsylvania. But the adventures don't stop there. For their next escapade, Noodles and Tater head to the lake where their friend, Captain Puddles, a basset hound with a serious love of all things nautical, has a surprise for them. A magical bubble machine.
Hold on, a magical bubble machine. Things are about to get interesting.
Oh, you have no idea. One giant bubble scoops up Noodles and Tater and takes them on a breathtaking journey over the treetops and into a secret meadow called Flutter Meadow. It's a place where bunnies in flower hats have tea parties.
Wait, bunnies in flower hats having tea parties? That sounds straight out of a dream.
It's pure whimsy. But hold on tight, because their adventures aren't over yet. Back in Pennsylvania, on a particularly chilly night, they encounter a lost kitten named Sprinkles, who's all alone and shivering in the cold.
Oh, poor Sprinkles. My heart's already melting.
Of course, Noodles and Tater, being the heroes they are, jump into action. They brave the frosty night and the sneaky shadows. Those always give me the chills until they finally reunite Sprinkles with her worried family.
Those pups are pure goodness.
And their good deeds don't go unnoticed. When spring arrives, the whole town throws a grand celebration in their honor. There's music, dancing, a fountain of chicken broth. It's pure puppy party bliss.
It sounds like a well-deserved celebration.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
And as they scamper off into the sunset ready for their next adventure, you can't help but feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
So, we've got adorable pups, missing muffins, magical bubbles, and even a touch of mystery and suspense. Where do we go from here?
Well, now that we've journeyed through the delightful world of Pennsylvania, I think it's time to put on our analytical hats and see what hidden depths we can uncover.
Ooh, I love a good analytical challenge. Let's get those Jungian juices flowing.
Get ready for some mind-blowing insights as we delve into the symbolism of Noodles and Tater Tot's adventures.
All right, so we've journeyed through the adorable world of Pennsylvania, but now it's time to take a closer look at those characters and events through a slightly different lens, a Jungian lens to be precise.
A Jungian lens. Sounds fancy.
It is pretty fascinating stuff. It's all about those universal patterns and symbols, those archetypes that Carl Jung, a very influential psychologist, believed are present in our collective unconscious.
Okay, back up for a sec. Collective unconscious. You're going to have to break this down for me.
Sure thing. Think of it like this giant well of shared human experiences and instincts that we all tap into, whether we realize it or not.
Interesting. So how does that tie into Doodles and Tater Tot?
Well, Jung believed that these archetypes, these symbolic patterns, show up everywhere, in myths, in dreams, and you guessed it, even in children's stories. And our furry friends Noodles and Tater Tot, they perfectly embody some of these classic archetypes.
Okay, I'm all ears. Give me the Jungian lowdown on these pups.
All right, let's start with Noodles. He's brave, he's selfless, he's always ready to face danger head on. Sound familiar?
Yeah, kind of like a hero.
Bingo. Noodles is a textbook example of the hero archetype. Think about it. He's the one who takes charge, solves problems, and ultimately saves the day. He even faces those spooky shadows to rescue Sprinkles. That takes some serious courage.
True. Noodles definitely fits the hero bill. But what about Tater Tot? He's not exactly charging into danger, but he's got this undeniable charm.
Exactly. Tater Tot embodies another classic archetype, the innocent. He's full of joy, optimism, and sees the good in everyone, even a muffin-stealing squirrel.
Yeah, he's like a little ray of sunshine in Pennsylvania. But there's got to be more to it than just being cute and happy.
Right. The innocent, or the pure eternus, represents that childlike part of us that stays connected to wonder, playfulness, and that sense of endless possibility.
So like our inner child.
Exactly. And Tater Tot reminds us to hold on to that sense of wonder, even as adults. Now, let's move on to a slightly more mischievous character, Nutmeg the squirrel.
Nutmeg. She's definitely a handful, but you gotta love her.
Right. And she perfectly embodies the trickster archetype. Think about it. She creates chaos with those missing muffins, but her intentions aren't malicious. She's just trying to help her family.
So she's not just a villain.
Nope. The trickster is all about shaking things up, challenging the status quo, and forcing everyone to look at things from a different perspective.
So maybe Nutmeg's not so bad after all.
Exactly. She might even be essential for the growth and evolution of Pennsylvania. Now, let's talk about that magical bubble journey to Flutter Meadow. What do you make of that?
That whole scene felt super symbolic, like they were entering a whole other world.
You're spot on. That journey represents a classic descent into the unconscious mind, a realm of symbolism and imagery. Remember that meadow often symbolizes peace and tranquility. And the bunnies having a tea party? Well, that's all about social connection and harmony.
So it's like they're tapping into this deeper part of themselves.
Exactly. And those happy bunnies, they could represent the self, another Jungian archetype. It's all about wholeness, integration, a kind of inner harmony that we all strive for.
Wow, so much symbolism packed into one bubbly adventure. What about those sneaky shadows? Those always kind of creep me out.
Yes, the shadows. They represent those parts of ourselves that we repress or deny, our fears, our insecurities, the stuff we don't like to acknowledge.
Ooh, so it's like they have to face their literal fears in this story.
You got it. And the fact that they overcome those fears to help Sprinkles, that highlights the importance of confronting our own shadows, of integrating those less than perfect parts of ourselves to become more whole and authentic individuals.
Mind blown. This is making me look at the story in a totally different way. So how do these Jungian concepts, these archetypes, play out in our own lives? I mean, we're not exactly riding around in magical bubbles.
Well, think of it like this. We might not be solving muffin mysteries or hanging out with bunnies and flower hats.
More's the pity.
Right. But we all encounter these same archetypal patterns in our own lives.
Yeah.
Our relationships, our work, even our own inner struggles. It's all there, playing out in different ways.
So give me an example. How does the hero archetype show up in everyday life?
Well, think about that friend who always stands up for what they believe in, even when it's unpopular. Or that coworker who goes above and beyond to help their team. They might not be wearing capes, but they're definitely tapping into that heroic energy, that drive to make a difference.
Makes sense. What about the innocent archetype? Can we really hold on to that childlike wonder as adults? I mean, bills, deadlines, the news. It's tough out there.
It is tough, no doubt. But it's not about being naive or ignoring the challenges of the world. It's about nurturing that inner spark of joy, that ability to find beauty and playfulness even in the midst of chaos.
So, like, taking time to appreciate a beautiful sunset or laughing at a silly meme, those little moments can make a big difference.
Exactly. And remember, Tater Tot's unwavering faith in others. That's a powerful reminder that choosing to believe in the good in people can be incredibly transformative, even when we've been hurt or disappointed.
Okay, but what about the trickster? That archetype always makes me a little nervous. I mean, causing chaos isn't exactly a recipe for success in the real world, is it?
True, true. But remember, the trickster isn't just about causing trouble for the sake of it. It's about shaking things up, challenging rigid thinking, and pushing us out of our comfort zones.
So, like that friend who always asks the tough questions, the one who makes everyone rethink their assumptions.
Exactly. They might ruffle some feathers, but they often play a crucial role in growth and change.
Now, onto the archetype I'm least looking forward to talking about, the shadow. Those sneaky shadows in the story still give me chills.
I get it. The shadow can be a bit intimidating. But remember, it's not about being bad or evil. It's simply about acknowledging those parts of ourselves that we tend to hide or deny, those fears, insecurities, and negative thoughts that we all have.
So it's like facing those less than perfect parts of ourselves.
Precisely. And Jung believed that by integrating our shadow, by accepting those parts instead of trying to bury them, we can actually become more whole and authentic individuals.
Wow, so this children's story about pups and muffins is actually a roadmap for personal growth and self-discovery.
In a way, yes. And that's the amazing thing about archetypes. They're these universal patterns that show up everywhere, connecting us to the shared human experience.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling incredibly inspired to embrace my inner Noodles and Tater Tot.
Me too. And who knows, maybe we'll even stumble upon our own flutter meadow along the way.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the surprisingly deep world of Noodles and Tater Tot.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep. You never know what hidden treasures you might uncover.
Okay, I guess that cut off sort of abruptly there. This is a trade that's not going to fit. But yeah, I mean, I like some of these psychology things. Those were actually kind of interesting insights into what is a purposefully absurd story. We'll go over the results here. I'm in the middle of this one. So this has 4 out of the 5 criteria. It's within Bollinger Bands, so it needs to be above for that one to count. The moving averages are in the right order. Magenta above purple. And these two agree, but we have the bad volume pattern. So 0, 100, 100, 100, 100. See, we're not just recording trades that we would take. We're recording trades that are close to what we would take. And the reason is we want to test the null hypothesis. We're not just testing whether our hypothesis is right. We're also testing whether the alternatives are better or not. See, a thing is not just defined by what it is. A thing can also be defined by what it isn't. Think about a number. Let's think of the number 2. This is 2 objects. You can define it by what it is, 1 and 2, but you can also define it by this is not 3, this is not 4, this is not 1, and so on. Of course, you'd have to do that into infinity, I guess. So this is what we're doing with the trade strategy. We're not just testing the strategy itself, we're testing the alternatives to the strategy or the variations on the strategy. And this is why we're recording this trade that would not fit our criteria. So that had a risk of 68. First candle went against 19. So that would be negative 19 divided by 68. And what time of day was this? 20. So yeah, that would be a small loss. So this was a little bit of a strange session here. We started with this one. This trade is one we would have taken. And let's color these guys in. And it was a small loss. A very small loss, a 0.02% loss. We would have taken it because it was a green with a green. These are yellows, and these are yellows. So, yes, that's why this has the green here. That means we would take that one according to the criteria. This one is also a green with a green, and similarly, it was a small loss. Both of these trades, by the way, would have been successful if I hadn't sold after the first candle. But I have tested that hypothesis so many times that I trust it. I've done years and years and years and years of this. So you never ever base decisions on like one trade or even a couple of trades. It's about what works over the long run. So let's check out this one here. This was a yellow with a yellow, and it was a break even. This was a green with a yellow. This would have been taken, except it was in the reversal zone, if you guys remember. We talked about it last time, but this is the short reversal zone, red, meaning like it's probably going to go up or statistically likely to go up. That's what reversal zones are about, and you can see that it did. We kind of had a similar thing here. It did go down for a while. Why did I not? I'm trying to remember why this wasn't taken. Did I just miss this? 497. Do we have that? Oh, one last thing. You don't take trades that are within the moving averages. The idea is the trade has to be above the moving averages or below them for a short. And that almost always is the case, but this is an example of this candle being between the moving averages. So we don't take that. Even though that would have worked out. Anyway, so we've got our results, and we have two trades that were tiny, tiny losses. Remember, a win is 1.5. These losses are 0.02 and 0.026. So you don't ever, there's no such thing as a strategy that never loses. But if you keep the losses really small, that's the game right there. So yeah, we had another one that was in the reversal zone that was a green and a green. That one worked out. So that would be an example of sometimes the reversal zones don't reverse. And then of course this last one, it was a bad volume pattern with a yellow, and it was a loss as well. So anyway, we've done 20 trades so far in this series, and we are in April of 2024. We're going to do the entire year, and then we have 75 more charts to do after that. Although this is 1 hour, and that takes the longest because we've already talked about that. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Give me more ideas for podcasts in the comments, and let's see if we have any comments on Discord to respond to. If you haven't joined the Discord, you definitely can. Okay, everybody is putting comments to my other things. So there is a comments and questions section for crypto here. Only make that crypto questions. All right, enough talking. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.